By sure. Is that Azura's star? How did you come to possess such a rare treasure?
May the I don't care how many colleges they build, or how much the sea... Winterhold has lost much of its history, and with that much of its power. I aim to change that. I've heard rumors of the resting place of the Helm of Winterhold. The Hansa was in line to be High King of Skyrim, you know. Having that might get the ear of the other hold.
By sure. Is that Azura's star?
May the gods watch over your battles. Then by my right as Jarl, I name you Thane of Winterhold. I grant you this weapon from the armory to serve as your badge of office. I'll also notify the guards of your new title. Wouldn't want them to think you're part of the common rabble now. Until next time.
Disrespect the law.
Ancestors wouldn't want this, Silas.
Why should I hide from it? This is my family's legacy.
It's the past. Dead oaths on dead lips. Let it stay there.
The museum is opening, Medina. And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend. Your loss, but if you change your mind, I'll be here.
I beg you, don't go into Silas's museum. Silas comes from one of the oldest families in Dawnstar. They have a complicated history. Several of his ancestors belonged to the Mythic Dawn, the cult that almost destroyed Tamriel. His family's involvement was only found out well after the crisis had died down. but it still ruined their reputation. They were outcasts. And now Silas is back, and this museum to the mythic dawn is his way of trying to rebuild his family's pride. It's misguided. Not a student of history, I see. It's for the best. They're a group that should be forgotten. The only thing you need to know is that they almost destroyed the world, and they were stopped a long time ago. That museum is a mistake.
And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend. Yes, my collection of artifacts from a group that toppled an empire. Why don't you come in? You can browse the displays and we can talk. I have a job you look perfect for. Let's talk inside. Feel free to look around. Come talk to me when you're ready to discuss that job I mentioned. The tapestries hung here and out. The commentaries on the Mysterium Xerxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader, Mankar Cameron. He promised a paradise awaited his followers when they died, that they would be reborn by Mehrunes. Did you have any questions about the museum, or would you rather talk business? It's no secret that my family were once members of the Mythic Dawn. One of my forefathers was even chosen to assassinate Uriel Septim himself. We hid from our past for years, became tradesmen, people of coin and influence. But I realized that the Mythic Dawn's importance, our importance, to history cannot be denied. I'll see everyone in Tamriel remember that for a moment, we held the fate of the world in our hands, for good or ill. They were worshippers of Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Lord of Destruction and Change. The Mythic Dawn killed Uriel Septim VII and his heirs, triggering the events that led to the Oblivion Crisis when the Daedra invaded Tamriel. All that remains of the infamous cult I've gathered in my museum. An excellent question. Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric Lord of Change, Destruction, and Ambition. Dagon's Mythic Dawn cult killed the Septim dynasty and opened the Oblivion gates into Tamriel. They called it the Oblivion Crisis. A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group, and they're right here, in Skyrim. At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders, and the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he lives in Morthal. Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked. The razor is Mehrunes Dagon's personal artifact. It has always heralded bloody change and carnage. It's held many names. Dagger of the Final Wounds, Bane of the Righteous, the Kingslayer. The Mythic Dawn worshipped Dagon as a god. Having his razor would be invaluable to my collection. Good luck finding the fragments.
Roll!
I've got your back. Lead on.
I work for the Wind Peak Inn. You should head on inside. Thoring runs the inn. Speak to him.
You've come to Dawnstar at a strange time, friend. Seems everyone in the town is having nightmares.
It's a curse. It has to be. I've got to get out of this town.
Irgnir, get a hold of yourself. They're just dreams. Please tell her, Erandur.
Listen to your friend, Fruki. They are just dreams, my dear. I assure you that it is quite normal.
It's the same dream over and over again. You think that's normal? It's evil, I tell you.
Erandur, she has a point. You keep telling us no harm will follow these dreams, but they must be an omen.
Give him a chance to speak. He's trying to help us.
Everyone, please. I'm doing what I can to end these nightmares. In the meantime, all I ask is you remain strong and put your trust in Lady Mara.
I will. Thank you. These dreams are real, I tell you. Real!
Lady Mara will save us from these nightmares. You'll see.
I'm just one of the miners.
I envy
don't
you,
want any
travelers.
trouble.
Dreams aren't affecting anyone not from here. Yes. Ever since my mother died a few winters ago. I play songs and help with the drinks when I have the time.
I swear the ore is getting harder to dig.
My mother taught me.
You're just getting
She was a
older.
bard from the college in
That's
Solitude.
why I come here to talk
I hear
to
they
you.
accept most people who apply, if you're ever interested. Until next time. The Wind Peak Inn features the finest bard in all of Dawnstar. Me.
Need a room? Don't worry. Nightmares don't... Here. Take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left us bounty litter. Everyone in town knows about the Black Door, and to never go near it. All right, then.
What troubles you, my daughter? Yes. Safe travels.
You lost?
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
Don't suppose you'd enchant my sword. Dull old blade can barely cut butter.
Go fiddling with any luck.
Divine sakes, who do you think we're threatening? These dreams are real, I tell you. Real.
Your man Horik is wearing his old Legion armor. What should I make of that?
He's proud of his service, Skald. The Legion taught us loyalty, and we're loyal to Dawnstar.
This isn't over. I catch you sending one letter to General Tullius.
I'm just one of the miners. I don't want any trouble.
You come to Dawnstar at a bad time. Tempers are Skald supports Ulfric's rebellion, and he doesn't like having a couple of old legionnaires living in his town. He's a fool. A dragon has attacked Helgen. Dawnstar needs the Empire now more than ever. Drowning your troubles in mead? A lot of folks are doing that these days. You'll want the Wind Peak Inn. As for work, you could try to catch Skald in a good mood, but your best bet would be working in the mines. They're on opposite ends of town. Stay out of trouble now.
My duty is to guard Brina Meredith. Watch your hands around the leg. I've been in the Legion all my life. I'm content to serve.
Destruction magic's fine. Just don't go burning down any buildings.
Just a servant of Skald the Elder. Not worthy of time.
Unless you're here to solve this nightmare problem, I don't. The only reason dragons are attacking is because Talos is angry with us for turning our backs on him. As soon as we drive the Empire out of Skyrim, the dragons will vanish. Mark my words. Oh, the Stormcloaks are destined to win this fight. Talos is with us, and when you fight under a divine's blessing, victory is assured. Dawnstar has a history of being the site of battles that have crippled the fate of the Empire. I hope this remains true. I've been in charge of Dawnstar, the Stormcloak. Dawnstar has a history of being the site of battles that have crippled the fate of the Empire.
Be mindful of that.
If you're here about the nightmares, I'm afraid my pleas to the College of Winterhold go unheard. If you could call it that. The Jarl can make all the demands in the world. I'm not setting one foot on that battlefield. I fought in the Great War. I cut enough young lives short. I'm not gonna do it again. Magic is frowned upon in Skyrim. Only the mages at the College of Winterhold teach it freely. If you wish to learn, join them. If you could call it that. I fought in the Great War. I cut enough young lives short. About 30 years ago, the Aldemary Dominion invaded the Empire. It was a surprise attack. Caught everyone off guard. They ended up sacking the Imperial City. I was there, blasting apart young elven men and women with fireballs and lightning bolts. By Akatosh, all the blood, the smell of flesh burned and pulled apart by magic. I never want to do that to another soul, ever again. Huh. I had you figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate this. To another fine day in Dawnstar.
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Just a servant of Skull. There's no honor in being a Jarl's servant. No Sovngarde waits for dusk.
These dreams are real, I tell you. Real!
Can't sleep well, no matter how much. I'm no one special. Just a miner who swings a pickaxe for his drinking money.
Iron's a good stout metal. Fine thing for a Nord to dig.
Here to dig, that's all. Dawnstar's got its problems, but as long as the ore is good, I'll stay.
You're wrong to come here, stranger. No rest in Dawnstar. That would be Jarl Skald the Elder. He's over in the White Hall, probably talking about Ulfric like he's the second coming of Talos. I own Ironbreaker Mine. We make twice as much coin as those horkers over in Quicksilver Mine. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I pay a good wage for any iron ore you dig up. If you're looking for work. Mm-hmm. Those fools are actually fighting!
Best offense is a good defense. Right.
Still here.
I never would have been.
What do you want me to carry?
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Let's get going then.
Can't be. You took its very soul.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
I never would have believed it if I hadn't
Seems
seen
like
it
no
with
one
my
is
own
getting a
eyes.
decent night's rest in Dawnstar, stranger. Best buy your steel and move on.
God, I'm so tired.
What is it? I haven't had much sleep. That would be Scald the Elder. He's been running Dawnstar ever since he was a boy. And he never lost that brat's attitude. Turned on the Empire first chance he got. Now we're all part of this rebellion. If you don't mind digging, I own the Quicksilver Mine. It's a better life than working in that damned Ironbreaker mine with all those milk drinkers. Until next time.
If I get any rest soon, I'll count myself richer than a king.
I plan to spend all the once sailing gets in your blood.
I don't like taking orders from a boy, but I need the gold. I could run this ship better than that boy who calls himself a captain. Maybe one day I'll do something about it.
Everyone thinks I'm too young to be a ship's captain. By inheritance, as my men are fond of saying. Can't blame them. My mother ran the Sea Squall as strictly as she ran the house. I've been trying to find new areas of business, trying to win the sailors' respect, but I keep having problems. Take the last trade we did. Some fine cut void salts from the College of Winterhold. Plenty of coin if you know who to sell it to. Sailors are what happened to them. They got drunk and ended up losing the merchandise in some cave. If you're not afraid of a little exploring, I'll pay good gold to get those salts. All right, then. I don't buy all that talk about ship captains having to be stern and strict. I want my crewmen to enjoy their life.
Lady Mara will save us from these nightmares. You'll see.
Mining's an honest trade.
Here
no
to mine?
real tricks to it.
Quicksilver ore is rare, worth digging.
The mortar and pestle makes potions, if you can't tell from the name. Just step up to the counter. No, I don't have anything for bad dreams, so don't ask. My husband. We used to go out into the wilds and collect ingredients together. He used to call me his pretty juniper. It's quite romantic, if you're an alchemist. Frost took the old fool a few seasons back while he was looking for the ring of pure mixtures. I found the ring's resting place after he died, but I'm far too old to go exploring some cave now. Well, aren't you sweet? I'd be happy to give you some alchemy training in exchange for the ring if you bring it to me. I'm the oldest woman in Dawnstar. Was here when Skald the Elder was Skald the Younger. He's a fool if you haven't met him already. Thinks Ulfric Stormcloak is invincible and spits dragon fire. The people here look to Brina Marilis when they need things settled. Real firebrand going up. Wasn't surprised when she joined the Legion. Ah, so you're an alchemist then? If you find that ring, but...
What is it? Do you have one of the razor fragments? Our master craftsmen are nothing compared to the perfection of the Daedra. Look how it shines. Here's your gold, as promised. We just need the shards of the blade and the hilt now. I'll just be tending the museum if you need me.
You come to Dawnstar at a bad time. Tempers are fiery. Stay out of trouble now.
Seems like no one is getting a decent night's rest in Dawnstar, stranger. Best buy your steel and move on.
Gods, I'm so tired. Not much. I came here a few years ago from Hammerfell when I married. The land is beautiful, but I can't stand this cold. I don't know how Rustleaf manages it. That's right. Home of the Red Guards. The land of sand and seas. I hope one day I'll convince Rustleaf to take us back there. Until then, I'm content running the forge together here in Dawnstar. Forge every day if you need anything.
Need a dagger? No? How about a claymore? I worked on a few moorings here and there for it. Most of the ship captains are superstitious about who works on their vessels, though. And Dawnstar is known for its bad luck. We're the last port of call before Windhelm, and the ore we trade makes rich targets for pirates. Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs. You looking for a shield? Best thing between you and the enemy, friend. Seems like no one is getting a decent night's rest in Dawnstar, stranger. Best buy your steel and move on.
Gods, I'm so tired.
Come back if you need steel.
If you need anything.
I work for the Wind Peak Inn. You should head on inside.
And what might you need? The entire town is being plagued by horrible nightmares. They're in serious danger, but I'm afraid there's little I can do about it. These dreams are manifestations created by the Daedric Lord Vermina. She has an awful hunger for our memories. In return, she leaves behind nightmares. Not unlike a cough marks a serious illness. I must end her terrible influence over these people before the damage becomes permanent. I need to return to the source of the problem, to Nightcaller Temple. Perhaps you'd be willing to assist me in that regard. I've already said too much. If anyone overhears what we're saying, it could start a panic. I would simply ask that you trust me and help me end Dawnstar's nightmares. Wonderful. My Lady Mara will be quite pleased. Nightcaller Temple is only a short walk from Dawnstar. Come, we must hurry. Vermina resides in a strange realm known as Quagmire, a nightmarish land where reality shifts upon itself in seemingly impossible ways. From her citadel at the center, she reaches forth to collect our memories, leaving nothing in return apart from visions of horror and despair. Who can say? Perhaps she collects them for display like works of art in a nonsensical art gallery. Whatever the case may be, her intentions are far from benevolent. I promise to answer all of your questions. Follow me.
This one's a favorite of mine. A legend we all
Still
know
here.
and love.
Lead on.
Yes, my daughter. What is it I can help with? This way, my daughter. Follow me. It's this way.
I work for the Wind Peak Inn. You should head on inside.
Feels good to finally have a chance to help these people. Helplessly watching them suffer has been difficult. The tower on that hill is our destination. People around here call it the Tower of the Dawn. I'm not familiar with the tower's history, but it was deserted for quite a long time before Nightcaller Temple was established inside. When the temple was active, the priests would rarely be seen in Dawnstar. They preferred to live a solitary existence. The temple's been abandoned for decades now. Ironic, isn't it? A ruin within a ruin. There's a small shrine to Mara I established inside the tower's entry hall. I was hoping to seek spiritual guidance from her.
So many refuse to talk to us. They call us thieves. Mostly, it is the Nords. They do not like outsiders in their land, and so we are forbidden to enter their cities. When they look upon us, they see only pickpockets and skooma dealers. It is most unfair, but we do our best to ignore them. Not long, in truth. I came to Skyrim after I found myself unwelcome in both Elsewhere and Cyrodiil. I seem to have an unfortunate talent for getting myself involved in misunderstandings with the law. Resad was able to look past that, and it was he who helped to set me up with a trade caravan. Now I work for him. Take a look. May your road lead you to warm sands. The longer we travel the roads of Skyrim,
the warm sand
more
of
empty
Elsewhere
it
is
sounds.
far away from here. Bring your coins, but do not bring trouble. Bandits harass the caravans at every step, but Khajiit usually scare them off. Skyrim is filled with all manner of dangerous beasts. Wolves, trolls, mammoths, and giants would all like to make a meal of us. But the dragons are the most fearsome. Lucky for us, they don't seem to hunt along the roads. Yes, I was hired to protect the others as we walk the roads of Skyrim. It is a thankless task, and I would rather be back home in Elsewhere, but I have little choice. Akari freed me from a prison in Cyrodiil, and now I must repay my debt to him. A word of advice, my friend. Do not mix gambling and drink. Taken together, they will empty your pockets of every septim. A few days ago, we were ambushed. A nuisance, really. But many of the marauders had quick fingers. One of them stole my moon amulet, given to me by my mother when I was just a cub. It is my only memory of home in this cold land. You are kind to offer. We believe the bandits are part of a group headquartered here. Be careful. I missed my amulet. But a life cannot be replaced as easily. May your road lead you to warm sands.
Hold! Now!
Yes, my daughter. What is it I can help with? This way, my lord. Before we enter, I must warn you about the dangers that could be lurking within. Years ago, this temple was raided by an orc war party seeking revenge. They were being plagued by nightmares, just like the people of Dawnstar.
I'm right behind you. You go on ahead.